Hey everybody, welcome back to another Teaching Tips Tuesday. I'm Alex Fabrega, and today I have with me Spencer Churchill. He is a TVI O&M and the Manager of Transition Services here at FBC. How are you doing today, Spencer?
I'm good. Happy Friday. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. Now, we are here to talk about your area of expertise, and that is transition. So how about you start by explaining a little bit to the folks at home what transition means in this context?
So transition services are typically thought of as a student who is in high school and 16 years or older, and we're usually talking about what their plans are for post-high school. But if you think about what transition really means, it's a set of processes of going from one area that the student is currently in and comfortable in their environment into a newer environment with more responsibilities and more independence being required. So that can happen from early intervention into preschool, preschool into elementary, elementary into the itinerant setting moving from like junior high into high school, and then high school to college and college toward employment. So these are all examples of what transition can look like at different age levels, but for the purposes of our conversation and what transition is considered in the educational setting, it really means any student who is 16 years or older.
Okay. I think a lot of people are used to it. Like the student has turned 16, now they need transition marked specifically on their IEP. But there is so much more to it than that.
That's right. So although the transition planning happens at 16 on the student's IEP, really we can get ahead of things and be proactive by helping students register for services like vocational rehabilitation as early as age 14. So we can really get the ball rolling earlier than 16 and start to take those steps to put them in a good place for when their transition IEP rolls around, and then once they're getting closer toward graduation.
Which is a perfect segue into talking about vocational rehab. What is VR?
So VR is a federally funded state-run agency under the Department of Economic Security. So every state has it. Any individual with a disability, whether it's vision or something else, can apply for VR services. And the purpose of VR is to allow individuals with a disability services and accommodations and equipment and training to achieve a higher level of independence and a better opportunity to find employment that suits their strengths and desires.
All right. What kind of services could a student with visual impairment expect from VR, at least in Arizona?
Sure. So, like we said earlier, VR serves anybody who is 14 or older. So it really kind of depends on when you come to VR. If you are a adult, maybe who has suddenly experienced vision loss and have already established a strong career for yourself, you might go into a more comprehensive type program where it's every day for several hours per day. But if we think about what a high school student who is 14, 15, 16 years old, they have probably already been receiving services and training of some sort. So they are looking to maybe sharpen certain tools in their toolkit. And the way VR does this is by working with different agencies in Arizona, such as the Foundation for Blind Children, to provide a 5-week residential comprehensive training summer program where the students are housed together and learn all sorts of different independent skills.
Shout out FBC summer programs. I'm talking about Teen to Work, talking about college prep, talking about Sharp.
Yep, that's right.
Absolutely.
So that includes things like learning how to apply for a job, create a resume, how to create a budget and order groceries, how to apply for financial aid for college, how to set up accommodations once you are in college, um, how to really take that next step where the student can feel like, okay, rather than all of these individuals in my high school setting who are all of a sudden just creating textbooks in braille and putting services right in front of me without me having to do anything. Once I move out of high school, those services are no longer just going to appear for me. I need to be the one who's proactive in managing my different resources and where they're coming from. So we teach the students how to be their own advocate and lead their own journey.
And what is the process for getting signed up for VR?
So to apply for VR, at least in Arizona, it might look slightly different in every state. All you'd have to do is follow the link that we'll provide and complete a fillable form. So they're just looking for basic demographic information. And once you complete that, you'll go in and meet with a vocational rehab counselor, and they'll kind of assess your strengths and weaknesses, your employability skills, and what it is that you might want to do for a career long term, and create a employment goal or an individual plan for employment, and then create a series of objectives to reach that employment goal over the long term. So it's very similar to an IEP, an individual education plan. It's just an IPE. The only thing we're going to change is that what that letter E means. So we're switching from education to employment as the primary focus.
And I've heard you mention many times that there is a lot of value in getting signed up for VR as soon as you possibly can. So once you hit that 14th birthday, get to it.
That's it, because if you think about high school, the student is receiving anywhere from, I don't know, let's say 60 minutes of services per month to 60 minutes of services per day. And that is super helpful throughout the timeline of a high school academic year. However, what happens during that summer, if there's not a lot of structure or support in place to provide a healthy, engaging, fostering environment for learning new skills toward independence outside of the classroom, then there might be some struggles when high school ends. So these summer programs are a prime opportunity. There are really four opportunities if we think about each year of high school. That summer in between, the student has the ability to attend a different and unique summer program that will enforce all of those independent skills.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to us about this, Spencer. And I have one more question for you, and that is,
Sure.
what is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job is going to be those summer programs. So it's an opportunity to see these students come in pretty meekishly and nervous and anxious about being away from home for 5 weeks or more. And then by the time the summer program ends, these kids are having so much fun that they don't want to leave and are ready to be out there on their own.
I have been distinctly honored enough to get to work some of these summer programs with you, and I have absolutely seen exactly what you're talking about. The bonds they make with each other, the skills that they learn, it is remarkable how much you can accomplish in a single summer.
Yep, it's the best.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about this again. This is a very important topic I've wanted to cover for a while now.
All right, well, thank you, Alex.
And thank you all so much at home for giving this a watch. As always, please leave any comments or questions in the description, and I will do my best to get them answered. Have a great week.